After dinner, Amy sets up a sheet and pillow for him to sleep on the couch. As she heads to her room, Sora uses his powers to set up the couch bed in seconds. When Amy returns, she's surprised at how quickly he got everything arranged. She gives him some clothes that belong to her friend Kieran, explaining that Kieran is a childhood friend who often stays over for home parties, so she has a lot of his things around. Playfully, Amy picks up a rolling pin and warns Sora that although she's kind, if he tries anything with her during the night, it won't be good for him. She jokes that she knows she's pretty, so it's only natural he might have intentions. Sora, however, assures her she isn't his type, which irritates Amy. She presses him to explain what's wrong with her, and Sora jokingly lists off things, saying her eyes, nose, and even mouth remind him of a vacuum cleaner. Angered, Amy snaps back, saying his taste is terrible, and warns him not to come near her room before storming off. After she leaves, Sora starts laughing, clearly having enjoyed teasing her. In the next scene, we see Momo searching for something at JTST. She stumbles upon the video of Sora from the previous night. Watching it piques her interest, especially since Amy's car number is visible in the footage. Using this clue, Momo figures out where Sora might be staying. Wasting no time, she goes straight to Mr. Soji to inform him that she's located Sora and will bring him back soon. Hearing this, Mr. Soji can't hide his happiness, hopeful that Sora will finally return. The scene shifts to morning, where we see Sora in the washroom, brushing his teeth. Out of habit, he starts using his powers for convenience. But as soon as he hears Amy coming, he quickly stops, narrowly avoiding her noticing his abilities. Later, Sora is sitting outside, curiously inspecting Amy's unique pottery creations from her class. Just then, Amy joins him, proudly admiring her own work and talking about how talented she is. Sora, amused, agrees and acknowledges her talent. Pleased, Amy invites him to stay for breakfast. While they're in the kitchen, Amy tries persistently to get Sora to share why he came to Thailand from Japan, but he keeps quiet, dodging her questions. Once breakfast is ready, they sit down to eat. As Amy playfully pours sauce over Sora's omelet, he tries to stop her, not wanting too much sauce, but she does it anyway. The sauce spills onto Sora's clothes, and Amy bursts into laughter. Sora, not one to back down, retaliates by messing up her clothes in return, making her laugh even more, until she realizes her clothes are now stained too. Annoyed, she threatens to throw ketchup on him, but Sora, laughing, raises a white flag, admitting he can't win against her. They both laugh and go off to change clothes. As they're changing, Amy's parents unexpectedly arrive, using the spare key to enter her apartment. They're shocked when they see Sora stepping out of the washroom, looking startled himself. Misunderstanding the situation, Amy's parents react with surprise and suspicion. Amy soon comes out, equally surprised to see her parents. She quickly realizes what they're thinking about Sora's presence, though she tries to explain. The scene shifts to Amy's parents grilling her with questions about who Sora is. In the middle of the conversation, they casually mention that they've already selected a potential match for her, a wealthy suitor they think is more suitable. Not wanting to be pushed into an arranged marriage, Amy grabs Sora and boldly declares him as her boyfriend, insisting that she likes him and doesn't want to marry anyone else. Despite her insistence, her parents dismiss the idea, saying they want her to marry someone of their social status. Amy's family is very wealthy, and they're firm on having her marry someone who meets their standards. They leave, ignoring her protests, which leaves Amy worried about what to do next. We see Momo arriving in Thailand. She checks into a hotel, leaves her luggage in her room, and heads out immediately to search for Sora. Meanwhile, Sora is back with Amy, thanking her for everything. Amy brushes it off, saying it's no big deal. She closes the door for him to leave, then pauses, reopening it to ask his name. Sora tells her, and she shares her name in return. Sora finally leaves, and we see that Amy looks a bit unsettled, clearly not as happy as she expected to feel after saying goodbye. A little later, Momo is shown outside Amy's apartment, wondering if Sora is really here. Just then, Kieran arrives and notices her. Mistaking Momo for one of his fans, he assumes she's there for an autograph or selfie, as many of his fans often come by. He approaches Momo, confidently complimenting himself, though Momo is initially confused. However, she enjoys his attention, and they start chatting. Their conversation is soon interrupted when some of Kieran's actual fans arrive, excitedly asking him for selfies. Seizing the moment, Momoko slips away, leaving Kieran distracted with his fans and unable to stop her as she heads off on her own. The scene shifts to Kieran, who's with Amy. Amy explains her situation to him, how her parents are insisting that she marry a man named Kevin. Kieran listens carefully, then casually mentions that Kevin is also the name of the owner of his recording company. He offers a suggestion. If Amy wants to avoid this arranged marriage, she should get a fake boyfriend for a while. Amy starts thinking about how she could find a fake boyfriend when, just then, she spots Sora. She's thrilled to see him and calls out his name. Sora is equally surprised to see her. In the next scene, Amy explains everything to Sora, how she needs him to pretend to be her boyfriend in exchange for helping him with the work that brought him to Thailand. After a moment of hesitation, Sora shares his problem with them, though he leaves out details like being separated from his parents because of his involvement in the science department. Amy assures him that she'll help him, and in return he agrees to help her. Kieran, curious, asks Sora if he has any photos of his parents or if he can draw them. Sora agrees to try, and Amy hands him her phone. He becomes serious, focusing deeply as he draws a picture. Kieran, watching, is impressed by Sora's skill, commenting that he could have a great future ahead of him. But when Amy sees the drawing, she's horrified. It's more of a childish sketch. She questions how they can use this to find Sora's parents. Amy downloads an app on her phone and starts by taking a photo of Sora. As he talks about how people say his eyes resemble his father's and his nose takes after his mother's, Amy draws a picture of his parents using the app. The result is surprisingly accurate, and Sora is deeply moved. He thanks Amy for her help. Amy suggests that they start asking around, so they head outside the bank, showing the photo to people, hoping someone will recognize Sora's parents. Unfortunately, no one can help. They continue their search at the market, but still, no one knows anything. Tired from their efforts, they sit down for a break. Amy gives Sora some water, and then, after he's finished, she takes a sip from the same straw. Sora, a little taken aback, asks why she would drink from his straw. Amy, unfazed, casually responds, "Yes, so what?" Sora, feeling a little uncomfortable, reveals that people often avoid drinking from his glass because they think he has a disease. Amy laughs at this and teases him, asking if his disease is madness. She reassures him, saying, "Don't worry, I'm crazier than you." Sora looks at Amy, touched and grateful. For the first time, someone is treating him like a normal person.